I was, along with 200 other personnel, on that cold November night. An imposing wall in front of me, about 12 feet tall, and on that wall was a bunch of ladders. And these ladders led to the unknown. The only thing that I did know was behind that wall, there were these strange noises I've never heard before, threatening sounds going off in the background. On top of that, I was very tired, I was hungry, and I was wet from the long journey that I had just taken prior. But I knew that this was the last thing I needed to prove before they would tell me that I was in. Right? Everybody comes to a crossroad in life, especially after high school. If you don't get accepted into the college you want to go to, if you don't have a job lined up, you come to an impasse. You have to make a decision. You have to find some purpose, direction, and motivation. And the United States Army provides that purpose, direction, and motivation. The United States Army was formed in 1775 by the Continental Congress in order to combat the British so that we can gain our independence. The general at the time, the commander, was General George Washington. So George Washington, along with the French Army and the Treaty of Paris, together we defeated and gained our independence from Great Britain. Following the victory and our gaining our independence, the Continental Army was disbanded. The Continental Army was disbanded following that. Later, they realized that we still needed an army to help defend against the Native Americans that were there, and also just a fighting force. So, in 3 June 1784, they reestablished what we know today as the United States Army. And we still currently hold that title, the United States Army. Some of the benefits that the Army currently provides to service members is an opportunity and a chance to be more than you ever thought was possible. One of the big things that they do for you is provide you with a trade. For instance, they give you a job skill. So following basic training, which is normally a 9-week process, you go to what's called AIT. AIT is where you learn your skill, your job. My current skill is military police, 31 Bravo. All right. They also provide you with a lot of training. In the branch of the Army, you can learn a trade that will set you up for a career inside the military. So it sets you up to successfully get through the ranks, but it also sets you up that if you want to get out, you can take those job skills that you learned in the military and provide and put them towards the civilian sector and still be successful in life. And also, one of the big things that the Army does for you is it challenges you to always do better. It constantly provides you with challenging experiences and challenging tasks that you have to get through in order to progress. That challenging task that I was put through, that I described earlier, was what's called Night Infiltration Course. Standing behind that wall with those ladders, once you get to the top, you realize what's back there, what those strange noises are. You have explosions going off on your left and your right. There are bullets flying over your head. There's sea wire, and there's a long stretch of sand that you have to crawl through in order to make it to the end. And once you make it through the end, it's similar to crossing that threshold. You've now made it into the United States Army. Right? One of the big things about the Army too is that it's bigger than just the individual. The Army is a gigantic organization, so you can't do it as an individual. You have to do it as a team. The Army came up with what's called Army values in the mid to late 90s. And what the Army values are is there's 7 values that every soldier should strive to live by. And those values are selfless service, leadership, duty, respect, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Those 7 values aren't just used in the military. You can use those in just regular life. If you apply those to regular life, your life in general will be a lot better, morally better. All right? In closing, the military is not for everybody. The United States Army is not for everybody. The people that it is for is those who want to challenge themselves or push themselves to be better than their peers. If you want a career that challenges you to always do better, to be a part of a team, and to help your fellow man, then I only have 2 words for you. Go Army. Nothing in the world is free. Sometimes it takes personal sacrifice and hard work to get what you want out of life. In the words of President John F. Kennedy during his inaugural address given on January 20th, 1961, I quote, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, as what you can do for your country."